Hello and welcome to Saturday. Yesterday I mentioned that I would be working more on my operating system, and here are the fruits of that labor. Um, right now I have the operating system imaged on this flash drive. So with Linux, and I believe you can do this with Windows 11 now, you can essentially just put the entire operating system on a flash drive, or previously, back in the old days of computers, when CDs were a thing, you could put it on like a CD or DVD, and then put it in the computer, and then start it up from that disk. And you would essentially boot into a working version of your operating system, and you would be able to do whatever you wanted to do, and everything was on that flash drive. I actually have. I think I might have talked about this a while ago, but this is a 128 gigabyte little flash drive that has. I believe it has Kali Linux on it at the moment, but that's probably gonna get swapped out for something eventually. That's a pretty old version of Kali as well. But yeah, as you can see, we have a beautiful KDE based Arch Linux distribution. It's still heavily in the works, but been enjoying this quite a bit, just messing around, seeing what's what, and just having fun with building an operating system. Still got quite a lot of stuff to work out. Most of this stuff is just on the live system. I spent like an hour or so trying to figure out Bluetooth, and it was just one command that is not set to default. It's what is it? It's sudo systemctl enable Bluetooth, something like that, I believe. And or is it just sudo systemctl start Bluetooth? I think it might be start Bluetooth. I can check the console command line history. Let's open that. It's yep, sudo systemctl start Bluetooth. Yeah, you just type that command and Bluetooth starts working. I don't know why it wasn't like that by default. I gotta put that in the build and then make sure it starts working. But yeah, I have an idea of where I want to put this. The main, like, every operating system has a goal. It's like targeted towards a certain type of user. Windows is obviously geared toward the every kind of everyday user, and you'd find that with a lot of operating systems. Like most people start with Windows, and basically you get the bare bones operating system. Like, you don't really have much. You get a browser, you get a media player. You don't get Word. Like, I think they're starting to add that now, but you don't get that. Or Microsoft Office rather. Same with macOS. It's similar thing. With a common distro like Ubuntu, you get a bit more, but it's kind of iffy. Like, it's geared toward a very simple kind of user. I figured I want this to be geared toward me personally, and that's more of the advanced kind of user who's like wants to do more with their who wants to be able to kind of do a little bit of everything. And what I mean by that is, like, sure, like, you need the basics, like browser, media player, shout out to VLC, which reminds me I need to remove MPV. But yeah, you get those two basics, and like that's pretty much where like Windows would leave you at. Like, you don't really have much there. So one thing I would add would be LibreOffice, which is your kind of like Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel kind of thing. You'd get that. You'd be getting GIMP, which is essentially a Photoshop alternative kind of thing. I'm thinking about adding some other things like maybe like DaVinci Resolve, but I'm leaning towards more of an open source kind of video editor kind of program. OBS would be. I'm not so sure if I install OBS. That seems kind of niche. We'll see about that. But yeah, it's like simple things that you want in a computer, like your go-to things that you're installing right away. Few applications and whatnot, like you want those preloaded. You want to be able to have, you know, one of the things that I wanted to do was install the latest and greatest stuff. Like, the desktop environment is KDE, which is super awesome desktop environment. Comes with a lot of nice features. But the underlying feature, like what that runs on, was typically outdated, and there's a new version of like interfaces and stuff that I installed. I need to research more into it, but it's working fine. So it's instead of X11, I'm using Wayland, and for audio, Pulse Audio was the old version of audio drivers for Linux, and now I'm using Pipewire, I believe that's what it is, and it seems to be working perfectly well. So those are some good steps forward. I gotta look at some more under the hood stuff that needs to be adjusted, like some very niche stuff that's been updated in the, I guess, more recent years, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I'm learning. Hopefully we'll get somewhere with this stuff, but who knows. That being said, I think I'm just gonna call it here for today. Rambled on a bit too much about computers and my operating system and how much fun I'm having, but yeah, that's where we're gonna leave off for today. Thank you all for watching. I hope to see you tomorrow, and until then, later.